Welcome to the Merch Minds podcast, where we discuss everything about the Merch by Amazon business and the print-on-demand industry. Here are your hosts, Glenn and Yong.
Merch Informer is the #1 research program for Merch by Amazon. You can do niche research by BSRs, keywords, and even by merchant brand names at your fingertips. You can explore historical data to see exactly what strategies the top sellers are using to succeed. Merch Informer was designed to help streamline your research process and help organize your ideas. Head over to merchinformer.com for a free 3-day trial, and after that, it's just $19.99 per month. Use the coupon code MERCHMINDS for 15% off the entire order. Merch Minds podcast episode number 66. My name is Glenn with the YouTube channel Hustler Hacks. This is Yong, who's a little sick.
I should be in bed.
You should be in bed. Gotta tuck this guy in. Give him some
I should
soup.
be in bed. You know what sucks is a couple of weeks ago I made that damn statement saying I haven't had a cold in over 10 years. And here I am. Sick.
Usually I'm the one that gets made fun of for the sick stuff.
Oh, dude. I haven't been sick. I'm telling you, man, this is like my first time in like years. And,
so what happened?
Who knows?
It's that cold weather in the mornings.
Yeah, apparently. But I'm a little down and out right now. But the show must go on. See, I sacrificed my body for you guys. That's what I did. Okay.
This guy's a team player.
No excuses, no days off. This is how I do it.
Yep, there we go, 24/7. And we're ready to talk merch. Should we do number? We also have merch news that actually came out.
There's news, we always talk about our numbers. And we'll talk all kinds of crazy stuff.
All right, let's get started with the numbers first. Then we'll get into the news. We just want to clear all this stuff up so we can get you to bed. And I got a good interview today too, which we're also going to talk about. So the numbers, I'll start off first. I haven't really seen improvement or a huge drop off. They've been pretty much the same. Today I think I've sold like 12 shirts. So hopefully by the end of the day, if I finish with 20 range, I think that's fine. 20 to 25. Last 7 days, 140 products sold. Estimated royalties $455 and 24 cents. I think last time we talked, I was right under $500. So maybe by the end of the day, I'll just get back to where I was. So just kind of consistent. Even though it's a brand new month, hopefully get some better numbers this month. It improves also because, of course, January is a little bit slower. People spend a lot of money during Q4, during Christmas time. So now we kind of get that back going again. Not just merch-wise, but retail-wise too, eBay-wise too. I've noticed everyone's just kind of starting to get back up there again. So I'm kind of pumped for that.
Cool. Let's see. My last 7 days. I'm actually seeing an increase in my numbers. The last 7 days, but I sound really congested, don't I?
You do sound congested.
I sound screwed up.
It is what it is.
Whatever. Last 7 days, 149 shirts sold for a product total of $3,108.43. And out of that, my royalty is $723.36. So my numbers are increasing.
They are.
I think last week I was at about 120 shirts sold.
Yeah, that you were.
So the numbers are definitely increasing.
What was the difference, do you think?
It's around. I'll be honest with you. I don't know, because there was it was weird because there was a day where I sold like 30 shirts, and that was like the most I sold in a long time in one day. Like I can't even. I mean, it's been so long I can't even remember when I sold 30 shirts in one day. But I sold 30 shirts in one day, and then it went. They went back down to normal about 15. So it's been up and down. And then there was one day I hit single digits. 7 shirts in one day, which is just god awful, right? And then he went back up again to like 26, and then 23, and then today I'm on pace to do somewhere around 20 something shirts. So I don't know, it's weird, man. It's been up and down.
All right, well, at least it's good to hear that they're increasing. This guy's getting his numbers up, and we'll see what the January payout looks like. It's always rough, and then once we actually get the payout, then we'll officially know. So we'll just wait until we get that official payout.
I just want to say something too. Also, is because I am sick, I do my monthly income report on for my newsletter. I'm gonna hold out. I'm gonna hold off on that for a couple of days until I get better, man. The last thing I want to do is be in front of a computer. So
yeah.
So just bear with me, people.
All right, and get into the merch news. So on the 31st, they announced Port and Company is replacing Anvil as merch's standard fit t-shirt brand and will begin shipping this week. The new shirts offer the same high quality ring spun fabric as our previous brand, but with improved printability and a more traditional fit to align with your customers' expectations. There will be no cost or royalty change with this upgrade. Next week, new submissions and edits will display updated product sales images, sizing charts, and key product feature bullets. So better, improved printability.
Well, of course they're going to make it sound like they're making an improvement, right? Of course they're going to do that. I never even heard of this. What was it? Port and what?
Port and Company.
I've never even heard of them. So, I guess we could have done our homework and looked it up before we came on air, but I've never even heard of them. I don't know who they are.
For the t-shirts and stuff that we do for the family business, I have heard of Port and Company. They do have other, they also do like polos and different outside of just the t-shirts, but they're pretty good quality.
Okay.
Yeah, so we've ordered some before. We've printed on them before. They're pretty good. So, but I'm kind of interested to see the differences in both. But I don't know if there's going to be too much.
Okay. See, and this is the thing, right? It's like for me, I can't compare. I think I'm like the one guy who's doing merch who's never purchased any one of their shirts. So I can't compare Anvil with the Port and Company because I've never ordered any one of my shirts. But with that said, I always thought it was the premium shirts that people were complaining about. No?
Well, I thought it might have been that just because they're more of like a snug fit. I mean, the Anvil ones were, traditional fit, which I thought was, they kind of say that already on the actual listing. So
yeah, for some reason in my head, I keep thinking that it was the premium, the bill of canvas that people were complaining about.
Yeah,
I could be wrong. Who knows?
Yeah, so I don't know what happened there. Other merch news, I think that's pretty much it for now. There hasn't really been anything else. I think everyone's just plugging away. I haven't really seen any other major merch news, anything come out recently. So
yeah, I think as far as merch news. Hey, do you remember a couple of weeks ago I was telling you about my boss? And now I think about it, man, I shouldn't talk about my day job too much on air because I don't know. I just feel like whatever. But remember a couple of weeks ago I told you my boss was telling me that I should go back on a regular schedule.
So they threw that idea out there.
So I met with my boss and everyone on Tuesday, this past Tuesday. Today's Friday right now.
And they play the podcast for everybody.
We play the podcast, and they're like, "Don't be throwing out Stanford's name in your podcast, you son of a bitch." And I was like, "Oh, I didn't know." No, I'm just saying no, but anyways, we had this meeting, man, and I think we might change my schedule where I'll be working from home more.
Okay, which is already good news.
If that happens, dude, do you know how much more designs I can do? Because right now I'm kind of limited to how many designs I can do, especially when I'm in the office, right?
Oh yeah.
So we'll see. I'll keep you guys updated on that because if that's gonna happen, that'll be good for me because, like I said, I could pump out more designs. And you know what? If that's the case, and I think, and you and I talked about this, then I might even consider moving out of the area. And I'll tell you why, man. It's too damn expensive to live here.
Oh yeah, it's super expensive. Even I mean, when I went over there for San Jose, I was like, man, what's the deal here? Everything's super priced. Gas.
How much was gas? How much was gas? Tell them.
Well, for us here in El Paso, it was like $2.30, and over there, I think California was at least it was what closer to like $3, like almost $4. It was like high threes.
It seems like everything here is double or tripled. Seriously, no joke. And if you guys don't believe me, go on Craigslist. Go to San Jose, California, and look at some of the rent prices. You guys will freaking lose your nuts. How much we pay in rent here?
I know. So it's gonna be exciting when you're here moving to El Paso, Texas.
I'm not moving to no place called El Paso, Texas. No, but I'm like I said, we don't. This is something that we talked about. It might not even happen, right? But we kind of discussed it. She asked what I wanted, and I told her I would like to work from home because technically a lot of the stuff I can do from home. So I just don't like to commute, man.
Yeah, you'll get sick less.
I get sick less, and but yeah, no, it's just I don't know. I just think it'll be better all around. You know, they don't have to pay for my office space. I can work remotely. They'll save money. I'll be happy. So we'll see.
You need to help Stanford get on their own merch account. That's what you need to be helping them with.
Dude, we talked about that, man. But it's, you know, I feel like even if I contact Amazon, like no one within Amazon, and if the Amazon people are listening now, it's not me talking shit. I'm just being honest. I feel like they don't communicate with each other to the point where if I did approach Amazon at some point, and one guy says, "Yeah, you can do that," and then if I try to if I try to submit a Stanford design because one guy said yes, then when it goes to the process, I'm afraid that I might get rejected and get my account suspended because no one behind the scenes communicates.
Yeah, I think it would be kind of tough to figure all that out. There's a lot of legalities with using university logos and names and
right. Because she asked me because every year we have a conference in September, and she asked me last September, "Can you do a T-shirt for our annual conference?" And I was like, I thought about it, and I was like, "Yeah, you know, I technically I can, but not through Amazon, that's for sure."
Yeah. All right, throwing it out there. Well, keep us updated on what's going to happen with this new schedule. You can double up on the podcast. Then we get 2, 3, 4 episodes out a week.
That's not going to happen.
Now more time.
No, that's not going to happen. But yeah, I mean, like I said, it might not even happen, and if it does happen, it might not happen until like June or July, right?
Okay.
Who knows?
All right, we got some time.
We got some time. So we'll see.
You want to talk about our special guest for the day?
Yeah. So we have Michael Essany. If you guys haven't heard of him, where the hell have you been? He runs the Merch Momentum Facebook group. Nice guy, very humble guy, well reserved. He's kind of like you, Glenn. He's very just nice guy. You know, he's not like me. He's not a jackass, right? But yeah, he's someone that we talk to on a regular basis behind the scenes, and we're going to talk merch, obviously, and then we're going to talk about his new strategy guide, which I freaking love, man. And I think everyone should sign up for it because there's a lot of information in there.
Sounds good. So here we go. Bring on the interview with Michael Essany.
You know, just like every time we have a guest on the show, they're always special. And we do have a special guest today. And before I continue, let me just apologize. Michael Essany is on the show. But Michael, I am very sick at the moment, so just excuse the way I look and sound. But Michael, welcome to the show.
It's great to be here. I'm so sorry to hear you're under the weather.
You know what? I was telling Glendo, man, I'm like Michael Jordan, man. You know, the flu game.
Oh, yeah.
You know, I'm like Jordan. You know, I just got to go in and score my 38 points, and then I'll take a nap afterwards.
This is Game 6 in Utah tonight, right?
Exactly. But welcome to the show, man. You know, it's been some time. I know we talk privately all the time. You know what's crazy is like all of us, like me, you, Glenn, Anthony, we all talk on a regular basis behind the scenes, and people don't know that.
Yeah. Yep, that's true. We communicate quite regularly. We share our war stories and dish on our battle scars and celebrate together, commiserate together. We're always chatting.
It's kind of scary in the sense that I talk to you guys more than I talk to my own family.
I would say that's my experience too most days.
So Michael, just like we ask every one of our guests, and if you don't want to ask a couple of these questions, you don't have to. But we always ask, what tier are you on, and how much royalty are you currently making per month?
Sure. I have been at the 4,000 tier since last April or May, approximately. I was actually eligible for the 8K tier when I got the 4K, so I don't exactly know why that happened, but I have been averaging between 1,000, 1,500 shirt sales a month. Last year, that was higher for a good stretch of time, but it's been going downward. January was a rough month. Did about half of December's volume. Definitely less than half of December's volume for January. So I'm happy February has arrived, because that usually means an uptick in sales moving forward.
Yeah, February was good for me last year. How did you do last year in February, Glenn?
February was better. I think they just got better as time went on throughout the year.
Yeah, I remember summer was tough though.
It's funny you say that, because I did better in July of 17 than I did in November of 17.
Interesting. Now, is it because you had a bunch of summer shirts?
Actually, no. Most of my stuff is evergreen, and
Right.
Sometimes things take off. That's one of those anomalies I can't really speak to, because I remember people saying, "Oh, November was great. I'm doing the best month of the year," and I'm thinking I'm still trailing what I did in July. But in July, people were saying, "This is horrible. I can't make any sales." And I'm thinking, "What are you talking about? This is the greatest month I've ever had on merch, except for the end of Q4 of 16." So it's very bizarre how that works sometimes.
Okay. Wow. Yeah. No, that's great. So now, do you do your own designs?
I do a lot of my own designs when they're simple designs, when they're text-based, when I have simpler illustrative needs. But when I have something that's a little more complex and I need it to really look beautiful, then I go to my go-to peeps for that sort of thing.
Okay. So now your go-to peeps, is that people, graphic designers that you found online?
Yeah, specifically I work with Adam Grabala of T-Shirt Fella. He's my guy for anything that I need that requires a true graphic design artistry.
Okay. Never heard of him, but I'm sure he does good work.
Yeah. Did you have any prior graphic design experience before getting into merch, or?
It's funny, Glenn, because I stumbled into merch. I literally had, using a box of crayons as a child was my last graphic design experience. So it was a learning process as I went. My early works were just atrocious. Knew nothing of fonts, knew nothing of color schemes, nothing of how to put together something that is aesthetically pleasing to the eye. So no, I am truly a beginner right out of the gates. But when I signed up for merch, October of 15, that was the program was just days old, and you signed up and you were in, and there were no tiers, no daily upload limits. It was just the Wild West. So I was able to get a lot of hands-on experience right out of the gate, and I did some of my worst work imaginable at that time.
I think we can all say the same. So you got in right around the same time Glenn did, right? Right when they opened up the gates, huh?
Yeah. I was doing a project for a client. I'm a writer primarily by trade.
That makes sense, and we'll talk about that here in a second.
And I was assigned to do a comprehensive white paper. It was a tech report on the evolution of e-commerce and what some large companies were doing in the space. And it just so happened I was focused on Amazon in that fall and what was new with Amazon. And I was literally going through their latest press releases, their announcements. And, here's this thing called Merch by Amazon. And it caught my attention, not because it was about apparel, but because it was initially designed to be a platform for app developers to increase their earnings by selling merchandise pertinent to their apps or to their games or their characters or whatever. So I delved into that, and in order to write about it from a knowledgeable posturing, I signed up for an account, I tinkered with it, and I quickly became obsessed with it.
Now, are you doing anything else on Amazon's like FBA and Amazon Custom, or is this pretty much the only thing you're doing on Amazon?
This is the only thing I've done with regard to selling products or services on Amazon. I've never done FBA.
Addictive, isn't it?
Yeah, it really is. It really is.
I swear, man. It's like Glenn and I, we talk about this almost 24 hours a day, man. It's getting to the point where it's taking over my life, but I'm just so addicted and I'm so passionate about it. And Glenn and I both just came back from Los Angeles. He wasn't at the conference. I was at the Marcella conference, but I mean, everyone is just fascinated about how this whole merch by Amazon thing works.
And a lot of people still don't know about it, which is incredible.
They don't. Yeah. Here's a crazy thing. It's like we're all part of the Facebook groups, right? And there's thousands and thousands of members in the Facebook groups, but in reality, not many people know about it.
Absolutely right. That's absolutely right. And even for those who want to get in now, I mean, good luck. There's a new application process. It's going to take a long time for you to get in. You need to show your wares to kind of prove yourself. I mean, for those who are sitting on the fence about getting in, sadly it's going to be off limits to them for some time, if not permanently.
Right. So now I believe you're married and you have kids.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Two daughters.
Two beautiful daughters, angels. I've seen pictures. They're angels. They're
Thank you.
Now, we met some members in the past, man. One guy in particular, we mentioned his name a few times, but I don't want to embarrass him too much. But people are like creating accounts for like their kids, their wives. Are you doing the same?
Not for my kids. My wife has an application for an account, but no, not my kids.
Dude, we met this guy in Seattle, man. He was purposely making babies just so he can create more accounts.
Honestly, merch is so valuable, I would say that's a good business plan.
He wasn't in for the long run. He was like, I'm just going to keep making babies.
So let's talk about, I guess, going back when you first started, you didn't have any graphic design experience. So what were some of the struggles of merch that you kind of faced, and how did you, I guess, solve those issues and be able to grow your account?
Well, the first thing that I ran into trouble with was as I got to the point where I wanted to grow my merch business and produce more designs. Given that designing for merch wasn't my full-time job, I wanted to come up with a way to fill more slots, leveraging the few ideas that were bankable and were working for me, which is how I kind of got into the approach to scaling my design. So my initial challenge, the big headache, was how can I squeeze more juice out of the most lucrative fruit that I've managed to pick.
So you're talking about getting more and getting that up, but what about the design part? Because I guess did you first start like trying to go through Illustrator and Photoshop first, and then you started to outsource a little bit? Because I know you said you kind of like messed around a little bit.
Yeah, I had Photoshop elements on my computer when I signed up for merch, and that was primarily because I would need to, and this was about the extent of my experience with elements. I would have to crop images to insert into my publications, my blogs, whatever I was writing. That was it. I mean, I knew how to add text to an image. Again, that was it. So, I mean, even learning about layers and transparency and what fonts I could use, and then also the whole thing about, when you acquire fonts, commercial licensing. There were so many little things that if I had made those mistakes today, I would have probably been kicked off of merch by now. So it was really the little things. But I realized about 3 to 4 months in that my designs were not as beautiful as I thought they were. And I started asking for opinions. I didn't just rely on my own judgment. And once people started showing me the way to better work, started referring me to designers, things just started to click. So it's been a long 2-year process, but I would consider myself definitely 100% self-taught.
Are you still using Photoshop Element?
The only thing I do use to this day. Yeah.
Okay.
Elements.
You should really maybe consider Illustrator, though.
I know. A lot of people tell me that. I think I may go down that path.
I think you can really benefit from it, and I think I mean, even if you just do something by yourself, you can then pass it on to your designer, and I'm sure they use Illustrator, and it'll just make everything that more streamlined.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. That's definitely on my 2018 agenda.
Uh-huh. Now, your daughters, do they help you with? And the reason I ask this is because I have a friend here locally, and his kids are always talking about some new meme or something that's trending, something I never even heard of. And apparently, all these kids, there's all these new things coming up all the time.
It's funny you mention that because just this afternoon, and I think Yong, I sent you the most recent some stuff I'm working on for my strategy guide.
Yeah, we'll talk about that, man, because I freaking love that thing.
And in there, in this next one coming out, I talk about some activities that my kids are involved in that gave me ideas for shirts, and others can approach for shirts. And we'll talk about one of them right now, and that is rock painting. Have you heard about this phenomenon of hiding painted rocks?
No, what is this?
It is a nationwide phenomenon that no one knows about unless you've got young kids who visit the public libraries or are involved in these. There's Facebook groups about it with thousands of people in it. Basically, it's like a perpetual scavenger hunt. You find rocks, you paint them, you hide them in public parks, public places. The family or the child that finds these rocks will pose for a selfie with that rock, post it to the Facebook group to say, hey, I found your rock. Then you go and you re-hide that rock at another location, and you replace the rock where you found it with one that you painted. It's this long, convoluted process, but it's like a game, and it goes on year-round. Just the other night, my girls, I'm about an hour outside of Chicago. It's cold here. It's very, very cold.
Oh, sure it is. Yeah, Chicago this time of the year is just it's crazy.
We went to a local park because the snow had melted, and we were in search of rocks, painted rocks that were under the snowfall, that are finally being exposed. We were there in the evening with our flashlights, and my girls just love this. And so it's one of those things that kids and families are passionate about, and it's great fodder for T-shirts. And so I talk about that, how to approach that in my latest guide. But that's an example of how my kids help me. My kids help me by exposing me to things that matter to them and matter to their friends, because if it matters to them, if it matters to their friends, to their families, matters to a lot of people.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, and so that's just an example of how how my kids benefit my merch business.
And then does your girls ever wear the shirts themselves?
Only a couple that were pertinent to our family, specifically to our Italian heritage. I've got a few Italian shirts for them. They also have a shirt for their supporting their uncle, who's a firefighter. So that's one of my key niches. I do a lot of family-related police and firefighter military apparel. So just a few examples that are pertinent to them.
Uh-huh. But yeah, no, I think kids there's just so many crazy things that kids do these days. When I was at the Martella conference, something about spaghetti. Apparently there's this new meme or trend, something about spaghetti. I can't even remember how it goes, but I was like, what? It was like just a sentence apparently, but this is like trending with the kids or something. I don't know. Have you heard about this?
I haven't.
You haven't heard about it?
No.
Yeah, it's weird. But anyway, yeah, I don't know. I guess this is something that we have to ask the kids, but something about spaghetti, and I'm sure the listeners probably know what I'm talking about. But Michael, so do you ever, because we talked to a lady a while back, Tara Flake. She's the mother of beautiful kids herself, and she was saying that she uses her kids sometimes to do research. Basically, stuff that like Glenn and I can't get away with, right? Like I can't just go up to a random person and just take a picture of their shirt, because that just looks creepy, right? But Tara Flake, she was one of our guests. She was saying that she would use her kids, and if she saw someone who was wearing a T-shirt she would send the kids up there, and then she would like just kind of nonchalantly take a photo or something. Is that something that you do?
No, I haven't done that. but I will tell you, I am observant. So I do notice what people are wearing on their shirts. I look for messaging, and but I haven't sneakily snapped any photos of anybody yet, or even just brazenly gone out and said, "Hey, can I please take a picture of your shirt? I want to mimic this for a design." No, I haven't done that yet.
Like I said, that's something that as a single guy, I probably just can't get away with. I mean, I'll probably get slapped. But yeah, she was saying that sometimes that she does that. But hey, let's talk about your strategy guide because it's something I think everyone can benefit from, and it's a weekly strategy guide that you put out, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And it's $10 a month. And here's the thing, and I know what people are going to say, right, when they listen to this. Oh my gosh, this is more paid content. But first of all, Michael, I have to commend you because up to this point, because you have your own Facebook group, the Merch Momentum.
Mm-hmm.
And you put out really good content. I mean, and when I say Michael puts out good content, he's not like me. I'll put in like a sentence or two when I post something. Like when you post something, it's like a damn book. You have a lot of content. No, it is a good thing.
Well, like I said, I'm a writer by trade. I enjoy writing, and actually, it's not just about putting out information, helping others. I'm a data person. I love getting really invested in niches and learning. So by writing, I learn and I become a better seller. So it ultimately benefits me as much as it hopefully does those who are reading it.
Right. And again, it's $10 a month, okay? I think you should be charging a lot more, but who am I to tell you what to do? Because I find value. I get these every week. And I'm not going to lie. I used some of the niches that you shared in the strategy guide. I made more than my measly $10 back. Okay? I'm not even lying to you.
I'm very happy to hear that, Yong.
Yeah, and so you share your own. Not only do you share your own personal niches, but you share a bunch of others, right?
I do. I do a lot of research, and really the only reason there is that paywall is because people will copy designs, they'll take things. If that's where the copycats are. If it's free, they kind of go for it. This kind of makes the information that we're putting out there a little more exclusive to those who are serious, responsible sellers, and I hope it's low enough to where it's not a barrier for entry for people in lower tiers, because I those are kind of the people I'm rooting for. I want to see folks go from tier 10 to 10,000. That's kind of something that I'm passionate about. But no, the guide is broken up into several parts. I begin every week with a rundown of what's selling well for me in terms of niches. I go into what I think should be on sellers' seasonal radar, what's happening this week, this month, this quarter. I have leads, keyword leads, niche leads, broken down by t-shirt, long sleeve, hoodie, and sweatshirt. I've hired a girl that I worked with at the same company actually that I did the initial Amazon report for. It's funny how things come full circle. But she's working with me to help do some of the grunt work to assemble all of this data. I honestly, when I started this a month ago, I had no idea how much time would truly go into it. But when I'm hearing from people that they're making sales off of it, in some cases 5, 10, 20 shirt sales after just one or two guides, I know we're onto something, so I'm really motivated to keep it going. And then the one thing that nobody really talks about too much from the guide, but I think is really important, is there's this section in there called that I focus on rainy day POD design leads. And what I mean by that is every Q4, late in Q4, there, at least for the last 2 years, there's come this point where merch has basically shut down. We've been frozen. And sellers get really frustrated because they can't upload, they can't edit. And it's only then when they realize, oh, I probably should have been putting designs on other platforms. Teespring, Redbubble, Teezilla. Should have opened an Etsy store. But you can't really do that 5 days before Christmas trying to play catch up. So every week I put out some ideas for people now to take steps to build out their POD platform offering so that by the end of the year they have a robust catalog available outside of merch to keep their royalties elevated if merch should disappoint again on December 5th, as it has the last 2 years.
Yeah, no, it's been frustrating. But Glenn, I don't know if you subscribed or not, but it highly. Look, here's the thing, and Michael, you and I spoke privately, okay? And I believe in your product so much, in your guide so much. I want to do something and say something here that I've never done ever, okay?
Is this the cold medicine talking, Yong?
It could be the cold medicine. Right now I feel like I sound like Anthony, and I'm not even trying. Every time I try to talk like Anthony, it just comes out wrong, and the one time I don't try and talk like Anthony, I sound like Anthony, right? But you and I were obviously talking, Michael, and I'm going to say and do something here that I've never done before, right? Because this is how passionate I am about your subscription, okay? Within 2 weeks, when you guys subscribe, okay, now this is a monthly subscription. Within 2 weeks of your subscription, if you guys don't find value in his guide, I will personally refund you your $10. Seriously.
So all Merch Minds listeners.
Every damn person that's listening, if you don't find value, no joke, if you don't find value in his subscription, and within 2 weeks, I will personally refund you the $10. It doesn't mean that your subscription is going to continue, though. We'll cut your subscription off, and in 2 weeks, if you guys don't find value, I mean, Glenn, I'm telling you, dude, have you read it? Are you subscribed?
I haven't been subscribed. I need to get on that. I don't know what's going on.
You need to get on it because, no, seriously, like I said, I've made more. Dude, he's got stuff in there I've never even thought of. Again, I don't want to mention it on air. Because that's not right for Michael, and it's not right for the people that paid for his guide. But there's niches and strategy in there I could have never even thought of. Again, I've tapped into a couple of niches and I've made more than my $10 back. So that is my guarantee to you. And I will, if anyone does ask for a refund, I will work with Michael on this. But something that's never been said and done on any podcast, I think. So, that's how much faith I have in this guide.
I really appreciate that, Yong. Your opinion means a lot to me. So thank you.
Oh, anytime. I'm seriously. This thing. Again, you should be charging more because I think there's just so much information and value. And again, I get it, man. People are gonna, complain and whine about paid content and whatnot. But you know what? At the end of the day, if you can't afford $10 a month, what can you afford then? Really? I'm not trying to sound mean on that.
Well, like I said, I'm glad it's a low enough entry price so that it doesn't exclude anybody, and hopefully people will get their values worth. So I appreciate that ringing endorsement. Although I'm still not convinced that the cold medicine hasn't contributed to it. I won't hold that against you if it is.
Unfortunately, I haven't taken any meds just yet. But,
okay.
But hey, where are you calling from?
I am an hour outside of Chicago. I am in the northwestern corner of the state of Indiana, in my home city of Valparaiso, Indiana. So
are you a Chicago Bears fan or Colts fan?
I'm a Bears fan.
You're a Bears fan. I got you, man. So do you go to the games a lot, Soldier Field?
This is the reason why so many football fans don't like me. Honestly, I don't care a whole lot about football, but if I'm in a position that I have to root... If the Bears are playing, they're my team. How's that?
Okay. But hey, but no, you know what? Seriously though, man. It totally makes sense that you're a writer because I didn't know that you were a writer up until this point, until this episode, and it makes sense now because. Like I said, even your Facebook posts, they're like freaking 20 paragraphs long. Where do you find the time? I don't get it, man. You're obviously married. You have 2 beautiful daughters. I'm assuming you have a day job. Like, where do you find the time to even write this guide? Because this isn't like a 1-page guide. This is like 10, 11 pages long. Because I can't, look, the only free time that I ever have, it seems like, is when I'm sitting on the toilet. So I'm trying to figure out how you have the time to even write something like this because it's like 10, 11 pages long.
Well, I got to tell you, I actually had somebody who who canceled their subscription this past week, and they sent me an email, and they said, you know what, I'm canceling false advertising. You told us these guides were going to be like 10 to 15 pages long. They're more like 20 every week. I'm spending a fortune on ink to print these out. The way I see it, you should reimburse me for all the ink that I've printed your guides with. You can't make that kind of thing up.
Oh, that's stupid.
You don't even have to print these, by the way. You could look at them on a screen. But
right.
If you want less value, okay.
Yeah, no, you know what? Here's one thing I learned is, as content creators, you're always going to have someone that just hates what you do. Yeah, because that it just comes with the territory. On the other hand, I love what you do. I love your content, and I'll support you 120%, man. I love what you do, man. So, Glenn, and I highly recommend that you sign up, man, because his stuff is awesome.
Yeah, I need to. I'm already friends with him on Facebook, so I can contact Mike through there. Is that the best way to contact you?
Yeah, absolutely. And Glenn, I have to say, early on when I was getting started on merch and was learning a lot, your videos were the first videos I watched.
Oh, nice. Appreciate that.
So much from you that I honestly have to. I owed you this thank you. It's a long overdue thank you, because so many people like myself have learned from you, and hats off to you, my friend.
Thanks, I appreciate that big time.
Yeah, I think Glenn was one of the few in the beginning that was making videos. I think there were a few others, and now it seems like everyone else is talking about it, which is fine. But I think you were definitely one of the original ones. And you heard the story about how I got started, right, Michael?
Yeah, you shared that with me. I think prior to one of the interviews I did with you in our group.
Okay, yeah, it was Glenn that actually, because I was visiting Glenn and he was telling me about merch at the time.
Yeah.
Back then I was heavily involved in FBA, and I just didn't want to. I was like, dude, I'm focusing on Q4 right now on FBA, and then next thing I know, Glenn's putting out a video talking about he made $5,000. I'm like, what the hell? Right? Well, I guess I need to go investigate. But hey, Michael, thanks for being on the show.
Where can they sign up to?
Oh, that's a good question. You know what? We'll have the link. We'll have the link in the show notes, so check the show notes. But again, I think it's well worth the $10.
Thank you very much, guys. That means a lot. I appreciate it. It's great to be with you. I feel like I'm on a famous show today. I've heard your voices for years, and I've looked up to you guys. And now to be talking to you, it's just really cool. So thank you.
Glenn's obviously the celebrity. I'm a nobody, man. Like I'm a random guy who just happens to join Glenn on a weekly episode and just goes on rants. That's all.
Well, appreciate it. Thanks for coming on, and we'll definitely put all the links, everything in the show notes, everything in the channel. So we'll have that up and running on Monday.
You guys rock. Thank you.
Thank you, Michael.
Thanks.
That was the first time I actually talked to Michael, and I guess face to face, if that's what you want to call it, because all our communication has been through Facebook Messenger, right?
Yeah.
But he's such a nice guy, man. He sounds just the way he looks.
Yeah, super nice guy, and I'm pumped. So now I'm going to go through some of these guides and stuff and see what's going on. Definitely get the recommendations out there and go through the info and anything to build merch, especially with high quality info, is definitely just a plus for everybody. So I'm really excited to see and read all this stuff. Obviously, Yong loves it, praises it, so I'm pumped for it.
Hey, I'm serious. If you guys subscribe to it, okay? And look, and I know the people. You guys are being jackasses and doing stupid stuff, but within 2 weeks, if you honestly don't like what you're getting from his guide, contact me. We can work it out. I'll personally refund you the $10, but then we'll have to cut off your subscription as well.
There you go. You heard it from the man.
But yeah, man, dude, I'm losing my voice.
Yeah, we better.
We need to cut this episode short this week. I gotta go.
Okay, one last thing though. Super Bowl prediction before you leave.
49ers.
That'll be a while before they get in.
Right. No, I think it's pretty much set in. Well, I shouldn't say set in stone, but it seems like they always win. Patriots, and plus, my opinion is a little biased because Tom Brady is from the Bay Area. So,
Oh, he is.
Yes, sir.
I thought he went to Michigan.
He went to college in Michigan. He was born and raised here in the Bay Area, man.
Okay.
His parents still live here.
All right. Yeah, and with me, I mean, I really don't want to see them win. I am a Dolphins fan. I hate to see them win, and I've seen them win for the last 20 years. But unfortunately, they are going to win, and yeah, I'll just wait until Brady retires or something.
Where are you going to watch it at? Are you going to watch it somewhere?
The wife, her family usually do like a big Super Bowl party, so they do like the squares, they do the whole thing, so I'll probably go over there.
Well, hopefully by Sunday, I'll feel better. If not, I'm just going to have to watch it from home.
Lay in bed.
Yeah, I'm all screwed up, man.
Okay. All right,
Hey,
let us know.
Contact me by email, Yong@geekhustle.com, or just tag me on Facebook. I don't care, but contact me. I got to go. Where can people find you, man?
Hustler Hacks on YouTube, hustlerhacks1@gmail.com. Contact me, email me. Let's talk. We'll hang out. Let's let Yong go to bed. Make sure he gets ready for next week. We'll see you guys.